Hello, my Teaser King family. Professor here. We're going to talk about week 13 of college and week 12 of the NFL. What went right, what went wrong. Generally, except for the Ohio State game, I picked pretty good. And you really can't here. And I like to give lesson learned. Sorry, I'll be with you in 1 minute. The lesson learned is you can't let Ohio State beat you. I mean, I know we lost with it, but there was other plays, and it's just one play out Benny. Yes, it was a bigger lock, but still, there was a lot of other good plays that countered it. So my locks, I lost with the Iowa under on a safety and a block punt. There's nothing you can do there. Lost Ohio State on the lock. I won with Georgia under for a change. Like every week, I've locked Georgia under every week. Not even a problem. I won with what was my other locks? Let's see. One with the Purdue wasn't a lock. It was a big play. Oregon State was my other big lock, which won. And the Minnesota Vikings was the other lock, which won. And then I put Minnesota with Georgia +2 this week, and I locked it. So even though I lost, you can't lose your psyche. It's just a loss. It's just money. It's money you can afford to lose. And there's other good games like the Minnesota, Green Bay, like this week, Georgia over Alabama, Georgia under. So you just keep it going. So let's talk about Ohio State, Michigan. What happened? Okay, why did I play it? Because Ohio State was 22-1 against Michigan the last 23. I got them even. So did I get stupid? Well, you know me. I'm going to play red until black hits. Well, black just hit. Okay, so that happened. The other thing was Michigan played Michigan State, and it was 37-33. So I'm looking at their defense going, it's okay, but they had trouble with Penn State. They barely won. They had trouble at Nebraska. They barely won. So I'm thinking Ohio State's defense is a little bit better than it is. I'm thinking that Ohio State's offense, and they did score a lot, but I didn't think Michigan's offense was so strong. And now I've discovered Ohio State's weakness, which is running straight at them, which is what Oregon did looking back. And now you have Michigan running straight at them. So in the bowl game, if they play a really good running team, my advice is, just run right at them. That seems to be Ohio State. Got way out coached on that. They should have brought up a safety to handle the running backs and let the kid try to beat him passing, which he wasn't going to do. But they couldn't stop the run. So was I overconfident in the win? No. Ohio State just killed Purdue. They killed Michigan State. There's no reason to think they would lose the game, and they did. That's just what happens. That's gambling. That's predicting. I went with a real strong team. They score a lot. They just didn't bring their defense. So I thought they got out coached. I thought when they were in the red zone, they kept looking back for the play. I thought killed their momentum. That's why the first 2 or 3 times they got down there, they kicked field goals because the coach screws up their rhythm when they go, okay, and then, let's look at the coach and get the play. What the fuck is that? I'm sorry. You gotta tell your players they after 11 games, they don't know what to do in the red zone against Michigan. You didn't coach them to do this. If this happens, do that. If that happens. And you've got to run the ball in the red zone. I'm tired of this passing where the guy's not open and you're trying to hit the back shoulder fade or you're trying to hit something. The guy's not open, but we're going to throw it anyway, and maybe we'll get a penalty. What kind of offense is that? Run. You got the great running back. Run it or go to a wildcat because your quarterback can't run. So I blame a lot of that on the coaches. We're way out coached, and that's pretty hard to get out coached by Harbaugh because he doesn't out coach anybody. So why did I lose the game? I honestly don't know. I mean, it's obvious. I looked at the game. Um, I knew Michigan could run. I didn't think that would be a big deal. I didn't think they could stop Ohio State's offense. Ohio State stopped their own offense. But again, it happens. It lost, and you move on. So then I had to make a last-second Oregon State bet because, if Ohio State scores, then Oregon State 19 was gold there. So I had to wait. So probably about 45 minutes before the Oregon State, I had to play them. So I played them with, I think, Minnesota Vikings or Purdue or somebody, and it was an easy winner. Oregon jumped on them, and Oregon State showed their class and their good quarterback and their good running, and they came back and they lost by 9. We're getting 13. The 19 bet, that was the reason of the lock, was Oregon State at 13 getting 19, and that's why I bet it early, and I had no issue with it. Talk about Vegas screwing up a line. It was 13, and then it quickly went down to 7. And people ask me, is it still a lock? I go, yes, I liked Oregon State in 13. I loved it at 19. That's why it was such a big lock. But, yeah, Oregon State, they're like Baylor, very strong offense, good quarterback, good running backs, a decent defense, not a great defense. And the way Oregon looked against Utah, I didn't think they'd score 10 points in the game. So if we look at what we learned, so let's see. Fresno State jumped on San Jose State. I was worried because 5 years ago in the same bet, San Jose State beat them. And that's where it really screws with your mind, is you remember something that happened 5 years ago, and you had the same situation where I should have bet Fresno State big. I didn't bet them because it's a rivalry, and how else? And Starkel's back for San Jose, and they kill them 40-9. And that's what happens. Iowa, Nebraska, I have the game won the whole time, under 48. It ends 49 on a block punt. How the hell do you let them block the punt? And then a safety after that. How the hell do you, what are you doing throwing with the freshman at the end when the score's 21-9? You're winning. Why are you throwing the ball in your own end zone? So, again, that was just a fluke loss. I had North Carolina State over. That came in. Let's see. Air Force, big over Vegas, again, against the Z team. Air Force is good. Let's see. Cincinnati, I didn't play against East Car, but they finally are starting to win. They got Houston this week. Again, Ohio State, Michigan. Shocking that an A team would give up 42 points. Now, my friend Alex asked me, who do I like? And I picked the score 42-28. I had the other team, but I did say that I like the over, maybe play that. And I wish I would have locked the over instead of Ohio State, but that's what happens. Army, strong dog as always, wins the game quite easily over Liberty, 31-16. And the question is, why didn't I lock Army when I know they're a strong dog playing Liberty? Miami, Duke, 47-10. Miami with Van Dyke's unbelievable. Guy's a superstar. Wake Forest, 41-10. With BC, I bet that game over. I thought BC would score more. They have the quarterback back. He didn't play good. Kentucky, Louisville, I had that game over 57-51. Kentucky took it over by themselves, scoring 52. So that was a very good over bet. Let's see, Georgia Tech. Somebody asked me, is Georgia Tech going to be competitive? And I told them, no way. 45-0. Over under 54. Again, Vegas cannot understand Georgia. Makes the over under 54. Again, I lock it. Again, it's not even close. Again, Georgia shuts them out. I mean, Jesus. How stupid is Vegas? Purdue, 15 over Indiana, a rivalry game. Purdue's playing well. All I had to do was lay 9. I was going to lock the game. I didn't. I apologize for not locking it. I did play them big twice. But see, when Purdue starts rolling and they beat Iowa and they beat Michigan State, and then they get Indiana in a rivalry game at home, they're going to kill them because it's like the rival, right? They want to beat them, and they're playing well. And Indiana had their fourth string, and again, I should have locked it. All they had to do was lay 9. My line on it was 21. Their line was 15. I don't know where they're getting their line from, and it goes down to 9. Let's see. Baylor quarterback didn't need the game, didn't play. I knew they didn't need the game, so I laid off of it. Again, let's check Bohannon this week against Oak State. Wisconsin mini, there you go. Wisconsin again losing. I remember telling my friend, he says, well, I want Michigan to win, so on Wisconsin, because Wisconsin can beat them. And I go, but A, Michigan already beat Wisconsin in Wisconsin, and B, you're not sure Wisconsin's going to win. And there goes Minnesota, home dog. Wisconsin, not a good team. That's their 4th or 5th loss, 23-13. UTSA didn't need the game, took their quarterback out, looked for a better game this week in the championship game. 8 rivalry game, Arizona State, much better. Arizona to Z, again, a home team in a rivalry, blowing out the rival. They win by 23, lane 20, cut it down to 14. Again, Arizona, weak dog, weak defense. Let's see. UCLA I had against Cal twice. UCLA -1. They're just such a much better team than Cal. Cal pulled the upset over Oregon State at home. Somehow I knew UCLA was not going to let me down. They win big. Oregon State, as I mentioned, 38-29, losing to Oregon. Big lock. Again, I knew that was that old Oregon State, a much better team than Oregon, and they were getting 7. Like I said, initially they were getting 13. That's why I bet the game Sunday. I knew Ohio State even, and then with Oregon, that's why it was such a big lock. Unfortunately, Ohio State didn't show up, but Oregon State did. Notre Dame, big over Stanford, 45-14. In a playoff game, they had to win, and they win easy, 45-14. So you can see the team needs to win for the playoff. They're playing a weak team, and they blow them out. Oak State, Oklahoma. I told you Oak State would win. I had 4 + 2. Oak State wins 37-33 plus the 2. So that was very predictable. It was closer than it should have been, but very predictable. Alabama, Auburn. Okay, the score is 10-3 with a minute left in the game. Now, let's guess. What do you think the score of the Alabama-Georgia game is? If they could only get 3 points on Auburn for most of the game, how many are they going to get against Georgia? That's right, 0. This will be another shutout for Georgia. Alabama has no chance. If they can't handle Auburn, they're not going to handle Georgia. Georgia's defense is, like I said, unbelievable. And you just don't mess with it. They give up 6 points a game. Alabama will not score in this game. Georgia will win 28-0. Clemson I had -11. They're playing better because of their runner. South Carolina was not very good, and they win 30-0. So an easy win for Clemson, another win. Marshall, 2 over Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky scores, has a great quarterback. I took Western Kentucky in 8. They win 53-21. Again, I knew they'd cover. I didn't know if they'd win. I didn't think they'd win by 30. But that was an easy one because Western Kentucky, with a good quarterback and a good offense, Marshall's not that strong. So I didn't think Marshall would blow them out, and I thought they'd be lucky to win, and I was right. Michigan State, Penn State, I still don't know why the spread dropped. I know it was snowing there. I was watching it. But again, I warned you when the spread was 1, went to 4.5. I didn't like Penn State at 1, and I certainly didn't like him at 4.5. So Michigan State plus the 10.5, another winner. Florida State. Florida State, I had that question come up. Guy like Florida State, I said, be careful. I don't really like it. It ended up where Florida State scored at the end with maybe 30 seconds left to get the win as they lost by 3. They were down 10. They're getting 8.5 for 9. So Florida State, I was happy for my friend who did take them. But again, I was like, take Western Kentucky. This is what confuses me. Why are you taking Florida State when you can play Western Kentucky, you can play Purdue, you can play Notre Dame? There's so many better teams out there than Florida State. Florida played well, so that's why I get confused. LSU got a win over A&M. LSU, I don't know, half their players are out. They got a 25-person injury list. They got so much talent. They still win 27-24 over a decent A&M team. Not great. Lou Lafayette didn't need the game. I don't think their quarterback played a whole lot, but look for him this week in the playoff game. See, they didn't need it. It's a playoff game. They don't want to get him hurt, so they didn't. They sit him out, but look for him this week. Nevada, I had big over Colorado State. They win 52-10. I love Carson Strong, Nevada's quarterback. I thought it was 4. I said this is easy, and they got it. So if we look at teams that needed to win, Houston won, Cincinnati won, Wake Forest won, Clemson won, NC State won, Pitt won, Oklahoma lost to Oklahoma State, Baylor didn't need it, Ohio State lost, Michigan won, Wisconsin lost, Iowa won, Western Kentucky beat Marshall, UTSA didn't need it, Notre Dame needed it and won, San Diego State won, Fresno State won, Air Force won, Utah State won. All 4 of the teams that needed it won. Forget the MAC. Oregon and Oregon State, as it turned out, Washington State won, eliminated Oregon State, and made Oregon win. So Washington State played the day before, and they won. And then Oregon State, Oregon needed it, and they got the win. Georgia and Alabama, neither of them needed it. Lafayette and App State didn't need it either. So that's it. So we'll get to the playoff. We'll get to the bowl games there. And again, my bowl games will be $100 for all the bowl games and the playoffs. We'll see how Ohio State does in the bowl game, if they play a running team or not. Let's look at the pros. Pros I did real well in for a change. Had the Bears over Detroit. Had Dallas over Oakland, a loser. Had New England big. I just felt they were going to win. Tennessee, the wide receivers are out. Henry's out. I warned you about Philadelphia. I did play the Giants, but I warned you, it's hard to play road favorites, especially teams like Philadelphia, who's really not that good. Tampa Bay, Indy, I had the over. It made sense. Brady's going to score. Wentz has been scoring over under 52. I needed 46. I had it in the third quarter. It ended up 69 without overtime. I had Atlanta over Jacksonville, as Jacksonville's a bad team, bet against. I thought Ryan would do it. Carolina, Miami, again, Carolina. I said, why are they favored? Made no sense that they were a road favorite, and Miami killed them. Newton, I think it was 5 of 20. Newton, I don't know what he's doing in there, but he certainly shouldn't be the favorite. Pitt, Cincinnati had the over in the game, 45-39. Cincy just kicked their ass. Roethlisberger looks terrible. So 41-10. So it did get over 39. Got to 51. Denver, San Diego. The last 5 were close. I didn't like San Diego as a road favorite. I didn't play the game, but I would have taken Denver. My lock was Minnesota and 9 against Frisco, and they lose by 8. I got very lucky. Well, I got lucky that Robbie Gould missed the field goal with 2 minutes left from 45 yards. I got unlucky because Kirk Cousins lines up over the guard instead of the center at the 2-yard line. Down 8. What the hell? And why aren't they running the ball? Now, Cook, I got hurt. I didn't realize. You got to run that ball there. You can't be throwing the ball, and he throws it out of bounds. That's how stupid Cousins is. So he lines up under guard. They call a timeout, and then he throws the ball out of the end zone. It's 4th down. You're at the 2-yard line. You can't throw the ball out of the end zone. Just a freaking idiot. So this is the problem with Kirk Cousins. He's not a good quarterback. He doesn't know how to win. He chokes. He's stupid. He doesn't handle the pressure well. That's the problem with Kirk Cousins. So he's like Stafford. He throws the ball over, and he gets a lot of yards, and they score some points. But when there's a time to win the game, You think Joe Montana would have won that game? Absolutely. Brady? Absolutely. Mahomes? Absolutely. All the star quarterbacks win this game. Staubach, go down the list. Cousins is not. That's the problem. Now, Frisco's showing me more offense than they've been showing. So they are starting to play better. So I'm going to keep my eye on them. The other game, the Rams in Green Bay, I got the dog marked. I'm assuming it's the Rams or the dog. No, I have Green Bay -3. What do? The Rams are 1-point favorites. Why are the Rams? Goes to 2.5. What was my question? Watch my video. Why are the Rams favored in the game? Aaron Rodgers was playing. I knew he was playing. Why are they favored? It should have been a lock. I played Green Bay hard in 2 teasers, getting 8.5. They win. They're up the whole game, and they easily win, plus 8.5. Okay, anybody that tells me Vegas knows what they're doing and they hit the line are I don't listen to. They don't know what they're doing. Why were the Rams favored in this game? What in God's name? Stafford stinks. He's a choke. He choked on the Lions. He chokes for the Rams. Aaron Rodgers is playing at home. Devontae Adams is playing. Everybody is playing. Why is Green Bay not a 3-point favorite in the game? So you basically just handed me that one. That was a joke. Baltimore, Cleveland, they just are terrible. I bet the game under 47, so it went under 53, and the score is 16-10. There you go, a piece of cake. Baltimore, Cleveland, pretty good defensive teams, and just a lot of field goals. Again, Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, 4 interceptions. He's a superstar, though. Listening to Chris Collinsworth makes me mute the game because he's so stupid. He's saying how good Lamar Jackson is and how that he's got the most running yards of any quarterback who played in 25 games or whatever. He's a quarterback. Nobody cares about running yards. It's passing yards. He throws the ball. So he's not a good quarterback. He's a good running back. He should be playing running back. God knows they need running backs. He is not a quarterback. 4 interceptions. How they even won the game, I don't know. But he's good at keeping the game under because they don't. And yesterday, I love Seattle as a road dog. I should have locked them, but I didn't trust Russell Wilson with the finger. I'm wondering what's wrong. Why aren't they scoring? And so I had 7.5, and then they come on at the end to get the win. But, Seattle as a road dog is always a good play normally. But this is a weird team right now. They just don't look good, and I'm not really excited about Seattle. So I had a great pro week, losing the Dallas game, and I think that was it. And then I was really proud. I really pounded New England and Green Bay and Minnesota. I had Minnesota in the lock this week with Georgia +2 when Ohio State. I had Ohio State, Minnesota. So Ohio State really fucked me. I had Oregon in 19. Big. I lose. And then I have them with Minnesota. Again, Minnesota wins. So I have all the what's going on here? So sorry, I got some message. So Ohio State really killed me in a game. They win 21 times out of 22. However, what do? I play Oregon with Purdue. I play Minnesota with Georgia this week. So I got Georgia in 2 in a game that I'm 99% sure is going to win. Alabama, as I'm watching them against Alabama, I'm already betting the Georgia game because they already gave me a line -4. I'm already going, who can I play with them? And I see Minnesota, and I go, fine, I'm playing Minnesota with Georgia. And I locked it, I think, 21 units or something already. You have to be strong when you're a gambler. You cannot look at the loss. I'm listening to poker, right? And Antonio Esfarniardi says, they ask him, how can you afford it and all this? He says, well, the chips are just a way to bet. They're really, you don't pay attention to them. And it's kind of like in football betting. You lose a game, like you lose pocket aces, right? You have let's say you pocket aces and you flop a third ace. You're really worried about losing the hand, and you lose it. Some guy hits a straight on you, and you lose it, and you're upset. But the next hand comes, and you flop a full house. And that's the way. You've got to forget the Ohio State game. It's bad. It lost. It was a good bet. Again, we have to bet before the game. We can't bet now. That would be easy if we could bet now, but you have to. It was a good bet. They were 21-1 against them. They'd won the last 8 in a row, lost, and the reason they lost is the quarterback was a freshman. And that was the only reason they lost, and it was a very close loss. That's the first time Michigan blew out Ohio State in 25 years. So could I have saw it coming? No, not at all. Michigan never has played that well against Ohio State. The fact it was in Michigan didn't matter. The fact it was snowing didn't matter. Ohio State the coach got out coached with the stupid red zone. Everybody look at me for 5 seconds and screw up your rhythm. That's why they lost. But what do? You just keep going. That's why I tell you, get your bankroll and bet accordingly. So it's a small bet into your bankroll, and you move to the next. We're going to lose games. I know a lot of people think I'm really good, but I do lose games. And so you just got to look at it as a loss. It's a little bit bigger of a bet because I was really confident in it. I wish I had a lock Purdue and Western Kentucky, but I played them twice. I played Oregon State with Purdue. And then, it happens, but that's the nature of the beast that we're doing. So you got to just move on from that. And you can look at this week, is there any game? And you go, yeah, there's Georgia. So the fact that it was quick enough to go, hey, let's play Minnesota with Georgia. So now I got Georgia +2 for $2,100 that I've already got the first half in. And I love Georgia. I'll probably bet it under also because it's 50. Again, Alabama scored freaking 3 points on Auburn until 30 seconds left in the game. And you think they're going to put up 20 against Georgia? You're out of your mind. They'll be lucky to score. Georgia will win. They're 24-0. Alabama's defense should keep the score down. And I love the under, and I love Georgia in this game. Ken, thanks for discouraging my Georgia Tech play. I just talked about you, Ken. I thought getting 35 points in Rider was a good recipe for a win. You said no way, and they probably would not score, and you were right. Yeah, well, if you watch Georgia this year, how many shutouts have they had? They shut out a good Arkansas team. Florida got Miami. I mean, this team is just loaded with pros in the system, and that's what you have got to understand. Georgia Tech against Miami, okay. That's why we look at the defense, right? So what do? I go weak defense, right? So that's one of the things that I look at, and I go here, Miami and Duke. Look at weak defenses. So I want to bet against the weak defense. So I took Miami because Duke's got a weak defense. But when you get to Georgia, you don't want to mess with Georgia, and that's why I play every game under in the Georgia. And I've won every game, and I think every game's been a lock. Because Vegas, for some reason, keeps putting them in the 50s. And if you look at, there's, I think, one game that landed in the 50s. Everything else is in the 40s. And I win by 20 points. It's the easiest locks I've made in my life. Georgia under. This week, Georgia's laying the Georgia under it's 50.5. Where are they going to get? So you tease at the 50s. Where are they going to find 56 points, Georgia, Alabama? Because Alabama's defense is pretty good. They're going to shut them out. If Alabama plays Auburn 10-10, what do where are they going to find 40 points against Georgia? It's impossible. So you just be careful. That's why you got to look at the defense and you got to look at the quarterback. So you want to play like Nevada, against Colorado State, Purdue. Indiana's quarterback they played their 4-string quarterback. Their defense sucks. It's a rivalry. Purdue's beating Michigan State. They beat Iowa. So you got to factor that Purdue's playing very well. They even put up 31 on Ohio State. You knew they were going to score 40 on Indiana, who doesn't have a defense. So look at the scope of the game, unless you're like a Georgia Tech person and you just wanted to bet them. I hope I put you to the under in the game. But you got to just be careful what you're looking at and look at the whole store, right? This week there's what, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 11. There's 11 games this week, so you got to look at the whole picture and then make your picks. And if you see a better game, now Georgia, Alabama, I don't know who the favorite is in Pitt, Wake Forest. I thought it was Pitt, and then Wake's -3. They're screwing up the spreads, and now I see Pitt's -3. So I'm assuming that's what it is. I assume it's Michigan -10, Cincinnati -10, Oak State I think -6, Utah -3, Western Kentucky. Now that's the one that puzzles me, is why they're favored over UTSA. That makes no sense. UTSA's a very strong team. They're going to run it down Western Kentucky's throat because they don't want to see their offense on the field. So look at the whole picture before you make your play. But this is why you mark down weak defenses. That's what I want to bet. I want to bet against the weak defense. They give up 30 points a game, and I got a good offense. So let's look at the team. Weak defense. Pitt, Wake Forest. So Pitt's laying 3. Wake Forest gives up 30 a game. What do you think is going to happen in the game? Pitt's going to go up and down the field. Wake will go up and down the field. The over-under is 72. It's clearly an over because Wake ain't going to stop anybody, but their offense is so good, Pitt ain't going to stop them. I think they played an 80 or 90 during the year. So that's really what you're looking at. The other weak defense is Kent and Northern Illinois, and again, that's a 72. They're 2 over teams with 2 weak defenses. I bet you that game hits 100. So, I mean, that's what you're looking for. They can't really stop them. They don't have a good defense. They're both good offensive teams. Kent, Northern Illinois is for the conference title. They're going to go. So that's what I look for. So you don't want to bet against the best defense, Georgia, Clemson, really in the pros. I don't know who you got. New Orleans. Well, New Orleans defense went down. Arizona's is pretty good. Tampa's went healthy. Denver, Indy. They're really, the pros are so hard right now because it's so inconsistent. But how I pulled it off last week, only losing Dallas, I have really no idea. But that's what you're really looking for. So you don't want to mess with good defenses. Very simple. You don't, like Georgia Tech, they don't have a good offense to begin with, but how are they going to score against Georgia? And frankly, I didn't even pay attention to the spread. I saw 454 over under. I just said, there's no way they're going to score. Just bet it under. So same thing here. Take Georgia, Alabama under. I took Georgia +2 already with Minnesota. I mean, that to me is just, that's the best bet on the board. Just play it. Don't think about it. Don't look, should I play App State, Louisiana, Lafayette? Just play your Georgia under and count your money. I mean, that's really what you're trying to do here. We're waiting for, as I say, pocket aces, and Georgia unders pocket aces every week. And that's what you're looking for, and that's what I try to analyze, and that's what I try to give you guys is why you look at that. So basically, that's what you do. You watch the hot teams, UCLA, Miami switches quarterbacks. They look great. Wake scores a ton. BC didn't stick up with them. Again, they needed it to win the play in this game. Pitt needed the game. All the teams that needed the Oak State beat Oklahoma. Now if Oak State beats Baylor, they should be in the playoffs because you'll have if Michigan beats Iowa. So it's Georgia, Alabama winner. Although Georgia, I can't see not winning and not being in the playoff. Michigan, Iowa, if Michigan wins, they're in. Cincinnati beats Houston, they're in. And the fourth team probably be Oak State, even though Notre Dame. But Notre Dame played one good team, which was Cincinnati at home and lost by 17. I don't see where they're getting in. Now Houston could beat Cincinnati. See, to me, if Houston beats Cincinnati, Houston should be in. Hey, Todd. Western Kentucky lost to UTSA earlier in the year, high-scoring game. Betting the over again looks good tease to 64. Yeah, I also like you. If I don't know what the spread is, I haven't looked right now, but if Western Kentucky's favorite, I like UTSA. I think they're going to run the ball all over on them, keep the ball out of Western Kentucky's hands. But UTSA is a better team, and if they're still getting points, I definitely like them. But you just good quarterback, good running back, good defense. There you go. That's what you're looking for. Oregon, Utah, I don't know what to expect because Utah killed them. Oregon looked terrible in the game. The game was in Utah. This game's on a neutral site. I don't know where I think they played at Levi Stadium or somewhere. So I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon played a better game than they did the first time, where they scored a whopping 7. They killed me. That was my lock over, and I am not going to lock it over. I'll tell you that, but I do like the over in the game. Oregon showed something beating Oregon State, but I expect Utah to score 40 points with Rising, their quarterback, and I don't know what Oregon's going to do this time. I would think they're going to score more and play a better game, but it becomes when you're psyched out and you can't beat the team. That's what happens. Houston, Cincinnati, I think it'll be a closer game. I don't see Cincinnati killing Houston. I'll tell you that. Houston's a good team. They're an A team. Pitt Wake, I think, is high scoring. Iowa, Michigan. Here I like it over. It's 44. I think that's way too low. Michigan scores a lot. They are not an under team. I have them as an A. Iowa scores a lot in these games. Like they put up 28 on Nebraska. They shouldn't have scored. All right, they got a block punt for a touchdown. So let's say it's 21-all. They're still scoring 20 on a good Nebraska defense. Michigan's going to put up in the 30s. They'll definitely get over 44, tease to 38. I really like that over. I think it's way too low. Utah State, San Diego State's probably an under also. San Diego State just plays really tough defense, and they'll shut down Utah State here. Some reason USC's playing Cal. I know a couple of weeks ago I couldn't find the score, and then I see USC there. I see Cal. I see the game this week, and I'm like, I don't know what happened a few weeks ago, but USC stinks. So what's going on? So the Oklahoma coach goes to USC. I thought that's a backwards move for him. USC's not very good. And then Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame to go to LSU. Now I'm wondering if Brian Kelly's going to screw Notre Dame the way he screwed Cincinnati. They were undefeated at Cincinnati, playing Florida for the championship, and Brian Kelly leaves. And he runs to Notre Dame. Why? He didn't need to go to Notre Dame before the bowl game. He leaves Cincinnati, get blown out by Tim Tebow, and Kelly runs to this. So I'm wondering if they don't make the playoff, watch him cry and leave Notre Dame. I'm so tired of these players crying and leaving. Like Spencer Rattler gets beat out at Oklahoma because he sucks, and now he runs to wherever he's running. What is that? Well, you're going to draft a guy like that who gets beat out and then cries and leaves? I wouldn't draft any of these guys. These aren't men. These are just children playing. None of them have balls. They just, I got beat out. I'm gonna run away and go leave. I'll get drafted because I look so good at Oklahoma. Obviously, a pro team's going to draft me. I mean, who the hell would draft a guy where he's not good? What would make you want to draft him? And then he leaves, so he's a quitter. So I don't want guys like that on my team. Anyway, let's quickly do the A's and Z's in the NFL. I got Dallas as a B. Very disappointing with Oakland. Arizona, let's see if Kyler Murray's playing. Tampa Bay's back to an A. Kansas City's a B going up. Indy's a B, a strong B. Cincinnati, again, they kill Baltimore and they lose to the Jets. So I don't understand. Here they got San Diego. San Diego's a strong dog, but a weak defense. And then I got New England and Buffalo, and they're both A's, but I'll tell you, New England's a lot better than Buffalo. I really like New England as the dog here. Of course, again, losing as a home dog. It's amazing how bad they are as a home dog. The Jets, who are a solid Z, and that's it. That's Detroit and the Jets. I got. Well, Atlanta's not bad, and Chicago with Dalton's pretty good. See, this is the problem. You rank Chicago as a Z with Fields, and then Dalton plays. Well, Dalton, I like Chicago over Detroit with Dalton, so they're not the same team. And this is really what's screwing us up in the pros, is these teams. You got all your stats and trends and everything, and then they switch quarterbacks on you. Oh, let's play Fields. Oh, shit. Now what do I do? Now I got Field stats. Oh, he gets hurt because he's running because he doesn't know he's a quarterback. And now you got Dalton. Well, wait, I gotta keep like two sets of. I gotta keep Dalton stats and I gotta keep Field stats. That's the problem with it, right? So you got stats. They switch to quarterback, and then you look at Arizona. There's Kyler Murray, and then Colt McCoy comes in, and he's a stud. I'm like, you've got to be kidding. So that's a system there. So Murray's not as good as you think. If Colt McCoy can light it up, Colt McCoy is terrible. So I don't know what to think there. Indy's playing very strong. The Giants. There's so many bad games like Miami and the Jets, Miami and the Giants and Jacksonville, the Giants, Philadelphia. You got Washington and Oakland. Now here. This game should be a blowout, the Rams over Jacksonville, but Stafford will find a way to throw 3 picks, and Jacksonville will find a way to make the game close, and the Rams won't cover the 13 down to 7. Frisco looks explosive as hell. I've never seen him like this with this coach. Lane 3 to Seattle. Poor Russell Wilson. And then New England, Buffalo. I really like New England here as the dog. KC, Denver. KC's 10. That's a big number. Denver's they just killed San Diego. I mean, I don't know why. I don't get this line. KC's maybe a 6-point favorite. 10. Yeah, I know KC played well again, but as I say, they're not playing the team they blew. Who's the team they just blew out? All right, let's look at KC. KC beat Dallas 19-9. 19-9. That's it. They beat Dallas by 10. So all of a sudden they're 10 over Denver. I don't know. I mean, this is where you've got to understand the last game. You can't. Whatever happened in the last game is not what's going to happen in this game. Oakland was at Dallas and beat them and scored 30 points out of nowhere. But they're not playing Dallas this week in Dallas. So you've got Oakland at home to Washington. They're not in Dallas. They're not playing Dallas. They're at home against Washington. It's a whole different hand of poker. So you can't look at it and go from there. So that's what you got to look at. It's you've got to analyze each game the way it comes. And that's why you got me, because I dig into each game. Like it's like Sudoku or it's like poker, where whatever happened on the last hand, you've got this hand. And here, Iowa, Michigan. It's not Michigan at home against Ohio State. They're on the road in Indiana. Are they going to be flat after beating Ohio State the first time in 20 years, or what? So this is all. I do not think Michigan will be flat in this game. I think they got that playoff. They got the monkey off the bed with Ohio State, and they want to get into the playoffs. So I think they're going to pound Iowa. They're going to do a Purdue on them. But I don't think this is a game you get flat. I think this is a game that they're and this is the beauty of them running the ball, is they're just going to keep running the ball. And unless Iowa's defense, and I got to look at the Wisconsin game. So if Iowa, I know Wisconsin beat Iowa, and all Wisconsin can do is run. So Michigan should pound it down their throats. And if they, that's one thing Ohio State can't handle is a running team. For some reason, they're too stupid to put the safety in the box. It just blows my mind, but that's what happens. So anyway, now we get ready for the bowls, and we just simply now we've got all the teams, Oak State, Baylor, Oregon State. You got them down Miami. You got Wake Forest. You got all your over teams. You got all your weak defensive teams. So you've got them all characterized, and then you see who they get in the bowl game. Sometimes they put a really strong defense against a really strong offense, and that skews it up. You'd rather see offense against offense and everything. Anyway, any questions or comments or anything else, please feel free. So I see the two. Anyway, this is really a recap. Either tomorrow or Thursday, I'll just do pro and college together. There's, like I said, 10, 11 college, and then just the normal pros. What's today? Tuesday. So Thursday, New Orleans and Dallas. New Orleans, I thought Simeon would be a little bit better. He just is not playing well. Dallas, you got to see if their receivers are back. But, I don't know. Again, Dallas is a road favorite. There's no trend. New Orleans, you got all Drew Brees trends, so that doesn't help. The quarterback's key. So it's hard to take New Orleans into this situation. Maybe it's an underplay because New Orleans won't score, but they got a good defense. Dallas, you don't know. They didn't stop the win against Oakland, so what are they going to do here? So we'll see. But the hot teams are Arizona, Tampa's starting to come back, KC's starting to come back, Indy's been strong. The Jets won a game. That's one in a row. Cincy, again, you don't know who you're getting. If they're good Cincy or bad Cincy. Baltimore, Pitt, good luck. Roethlisberger looks old. Baltimore's got so many injuries. It's really good not playing your players in preseason and then watching the whole roster get injured because none of them are ready to play. The Rams, I don't trust over Jacksonville. Frisco looks really strong. And I like New England over Buffalo. So we'll talk more about that. Probably Thursday we'll do that. But really, I had a good weekend except for Ohio State. I hit the other locks. Oregon State and Georgia unders, just like gold. Minnesota came through. And again, I'm giving you I had Minnesota and I locked it with Georgia +2. So, I've locked Georgia this week. I'll probably play the under on it. So that's a gimme. That's, there you go. That's for the Ohio State loss. But you just got to keep moving forward. And when you lose, you lose. And then you keep going. And you've got good picks. The team's better now than you did a month ago. So just keep going. You understand you're going to have losers. And that's why you money manage, and that's why you try to increase the bankroll. So just be careful there. And I know sometimes I get hot, and then I make a big bet, and everybody thinks, "Oh, it's gonna," And I feel bad because it's a good bet, but it loses. And I know for me, I'm fine because it's within my bankroll, and I won the other 29 unit. But I know people get a little aggressive when I give out a big pick, and then they lose, and it depresses me because they lost, not because I lost. Because I don't want people to. People are going with my word. I want them to win, and I feel really bad. But that's the nature of the beast. It was a good pick, and it was a good bet. I would do it again, and we'll see what Ohio State does in the bowl, who they get. And we might lock them again in the bowl if they play more of a passing team or something like that. But anyway, any other comments? All right, I'm going to work out in the pool. Have a nice night. I'll be back, Thursday with pro and college. Again, we've already locked Georgia. +2 will probably lock Georgia under, just because I've locked them under the last 7 weeks. In the last 7 weeks, I've won very easily. Thanks, TK. Great. Oh, thanks you, Ken. Yeah, just try to, don't. The one rule I have is don't fuck with the best team. So don't start betting against Georgia. Be careful betting against Tom Brady. Be careful betting against Aaron Rodgers, especially when there's a home dog. When you see Rodgers or Brady as a home dog, it's an automatic big bet. You shouldn't even think about it, but that's really what you're. Anyway, that's what you're trying to learn. Bet against weak defenses and don't mess with teams like Georgia with that defense. I'm telling you, they would shut out 3 or 4 pro teams. Jacksonville, Miami, Detroit. They wouldn't even score on this team. It's unbelievable. Anyway, have a great night, Ken, Todd. Thanks for watching. Again, this is a small college week, and then the bowls. The bowls will be $100 for all of them and the playoffs. And then I usually do a pro playoff Super Bowl, the same $100 for all the picks for the entire playoff. But if you've already I got a number of people who bought my whole picks through the year. They've already got all that. So they're with me through the Super Bowl. So, and I try to value it at a good price. So they probably paid $600 or so for the whole year, and they did that. I won with Minnesota. I'm glad under the guard crap. But now, did you play Minnesota with Georgia +2 this week? Because I posted that lock Saturday watching the Auburn game, saying, well, let's see, Alabama can't move on Auburn. They're not going to move on Georgia. So I hope you got that one in also. But again, we're definitely going to play Georgia under, probably with New England, I think. I like New England as a dog to Buffalo. Buffalo, all the big games they've lost. We'll see if Kyler Murray's back for Arizona. Maybe Indy, Cincinnati, San Diego will probably go over. And Frisco, I don't know what I'm Ellis. And then in college, obviously, it's the Georgia under. Probably the Wake over, Michigan, maybe San Diego State under. And then I got to see if Bohannon's playing for Baylor. Keep your eye on that. I don't know. Baylor, I think they just lost to Oak State. They beat Oklahoma. So you know what type of team Baylor is. They beat Oklahoma. So do they have a chance at the playoff if they beat Oklahoma State? Because they've only got one loss. And if they beat Oak State, and we figure Georgia wins, Michigan wins. That kicks Alabama out. Cincinnati, if they win, is undefeated. If they lose, they're out. And then it's a question of Notre Dame, who lost to Cincinnati, and the winner of the Baylor-Oak State game. So probably a live dog, or that's probably a good under. Oak State's got a great defense, although you wouldn't have guessed it by Oak scoring 33 on them. But Oak just runs the quarterback. They got their offense sucks. It's just you guys run deep and then let the quarterback figure out a way to go. That was my 18. Yes. So that's your closer is Georgia +2 then. I hope that's your closer then. So I hope you got the other 7 in. We hit a ton on Saturday. We just lost the fucking Ohio State game. Everything else on Saturday, we lost the Iowa Friday, but Saturday, everything won. I think the Alabama game was the only other loser, but I killed the night. Nevada, UCLA, Oregon State. It was a pleasure. All right, I'm going to go. Anybody else? Questions, comments? I try to be thorough, and I'm here for you guys. So I'm here to answer questions. Just think of me as the professor teaching a class. I'd rather be teaching bank heists and printing gold and everything, but all right, everybody, have a great day. I will see you Thursday, probably a little earlier. I switched time zones, so I'm 8 o'clock now. You're 9 o'clock, so keep that in mind. So I'll probably try to get on at 6, which is 7 your time. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great night, and I'll see you on Thursday. Take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Again, www.teaserking.com.